Seth's just hanging out, waiting for Edge's family, having himself a party while Edge is yelling at Beth over the phone saying, I don't care about the groceries, just go to your brother's house. Take the kids. I'm going to call Daniel and David because they're right there in NC while Seth is hanging out, waiting for Edge's family, having himself a party. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from Baltimore, Maryland. WWE Draft 2021, Night 1. Furniture got rearranged. Some of these moves might mean something, but we won't know for 3 goddamn weeks because we have to wait until we please the Saudi prince by going to Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel 2021. That's going to be a great goddamn show. No, it's fucking not. And provided that all talents get back in one piece, Bonesaw is ready, then we will know how the rosters are going to look in 3 goddamn weeks. So why do the roster, shuffling around now? Why do that shit? Why not wait a few weeks? Oh, well, anyway, it creates some controversy, and controversy creates cash, according to Eric Bischoff. And, well, some of the moves, I guess, were no-brainers, and then some of them were like, oh boy, well, this might be interesting. And then one particular one I didn't like at all. And I wonder if you can guess which one that is. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. It was all about the draft, and that was really it. I mean, the matches were just there. One match was just fucking filler, and I don't even know her. And then one match was basically just an angle match with Becky taking over commentary. So Pierce and Sonya did the picks for the first round. And by the way, there are going to be 4 rounds or possibly 5 rounds on Raw because it's a 3-hour show. And then we're going to see how everything goes. So I can't necessarily say anything particularly shocking happened, except for one call-up. But anyway, Roman to SmackDown, Charlotte to SmackDown, the current Raw Women's Champion. So basically what's going to happen is her and Becky are going to swap belts like New Day and the Street Profits did. Remember when they swapped the tag title belts and it didn't fucking mean anything? Because the tag titles don't fucking mean anything? They're probably going to do that. So anyway, Big E to Raw, Bianca to Raw. Okay, hopefully Bianca can get a fresh coat of paint on here because I'm not sure that they were going to be able to do much more with her on SmackDown. Given how SummerSlam pretty much just completely halted her momentum, even though she is still over, it's probably a good idea to do a Raw reset, so to speak. So here's Roman, fresh off of getting head at the table. That's why they had to wait a few minutes, because it takes a bit for him to unleash his tribal chief. Ooh, Raw! Anyway, so recaps of the Extreme Rules fiasco that I fucking hated. You can check out my Extreme Rules rant if you want. Even though I had some positive stuff to say, that fucking ending was abysmal. So, Roman talks about the Bloodline shirt, says as the back of the shirt says, we are the ones because I'm number one. And Heyman calls them Baltimoreans and does a whole bunch of great stuff, pumping up Roman Reigns and doing all this great little bit of storytelling. Even though some of the stuff with Heyman and Roman at times has gotten a little bit stale, Heyman and Roman are able to just turn it right back around and create some good stuff, shortly after. And you're a little bit worried that some of this might not be going anywhere. Heyman's a master on the mic. Roman, where was this Roman 6 fucking years ago is what I'm wondering. Heyman then says, talks about Brock, being the mayor of Suplex City and the suplextricist, which is really hard to say, Roman Reigns. Okay, that's good stuff. That's going to be really, really hard to say, though, so hopefully maybe they fine-tune that a little bit. Here's Brock to a major pop. Brock's a lumberjack, and he's okay. He faced Roman, and then he suplexed the Usos all day. He did not F5 Michael Cole, more than a pity. Michael Cole's really goddamn bad at his job, and I can't wait until he's off of commentary for good. But this was cool, though, because Brock being just this ass kicker where he's just doing this stuff, it fits. It fits Brock to do this. He can just be the tweener type where he's just having a lot of fun. You can tell, and also this is probably going to be his last deal because he's in his mid-40s, and even though he's a freak of nature, I can't imagine he's going to be wrestling that much longer. And Charlotte then is telling Kayla, well, they wanted me here on Friday night, so it was a Fox mandate. Fox Flair, if you will. Fox Flair Nation. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte would appear on that. We know Rick would. Anyway, enough accusations that I have no basis in besides, well, rumors and innuendos, or innuendo. Enough about Kayla, though. So, Charlotte, she did her usual stuff and everything. I don't know what the fuck that bedazzled bodysuit was. And Kayla just seemed happy to be there this week. So Riddick Moss is Madcap Moss. So we go from Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman, and the Usos getting tossed around. And we have a usual Charlotte Flair promo that was neither inoffensive nor... It just was there. And now we have Owens just writing out the rest of his goddamn contract. That's what Kevin Owens is doing. If Kevin Owens does not end up going to AEW, I will be shocked. And he's feuding with Happy Corbin. Boy, Owens wants to get out of here, I bet. And can Fox please mandate that Vince stops being so goddamn shit with his creative? Corbin wins and wrestling dies a little bit more because this gimmick shit, nothing against Riddick Moss, but I mean, it's people with stupid hats, but they have a new hat. Oh, I want her, I want her, I want her. Anyway, we then get an advertisement for King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown Tournament. You could have called it Queen of the Ring. We are intelligent enough, Vince, despite what you think of the remaining viewers. People are intelligent enough to replace one letter and figure it out. So they're going to start Friday, next Friday that is, and continue on Monday the 11th. That's good though. So Pierce and Sonya do round 2. Drew's going to be on Smackdown. Drew's sizable sword on Smackdown. He's just going to have his sizable sword out there on Friday nights, exposed to a whole new audience. And then Kofi and Xavier on Smackdown. Everybody was pissed because, oh, the New Day split up again. Guys, it's not the worst thing in the world. We got them for a bunch of years. Them being on Smackdown is fine. Big E can do his own stuff. You can do the brand-to-brand invitational thing, and you can do the occasional 6-man match. It's fine. It's not the end of the goddamn world as we know it. So RK Bro are on Raw, and then Edge is going to be on Raw. Raw edginess, if you will. And then Kayla was excited to see Drew's sizable sword. Stop thinking about it, Kat. I know you're thinking of it. Stop it. Get some help. You know who you are. And Edge was here to talk about, well, he's going to Raw, or going in Raw. Explains how he has a couple kids. And then he's telling Rollins, well, you should really come and say those words to my face, because Rollins basically said that if Edge doesn't answer him, he said this last week, he's going to find him at his house and beat the words out of him in front of his wife and child. Channeling Atlanta, Georgia, June 2007. Speaking of Atlanta, Georgia, June 2007, Rollins is on the set of the Red Green Show. Wait, no, he's not. He's at Edge's house. But it's really nice that the cameraman just was not calling the police or anything, and the door was unlocked. Why was the door unlocked? I don't know exactly where they live, but I can't imagine, even if you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, that you would want to leave your door unlocked. Who knows? A bear might get in there. And what do you call a bear with no ears? Or it's like a bee. You're unbearable, Steve. You get that reference. I fucking love you guys. So, he's in Edge's house. And it was funny that Edge saw this and instantly ran out of the arena. He's in Baltimore. Even if he was just in the next city over, it would have taken him longer to get there than just calling somebody. The police? Friends? I don't know. Call a goddamn, giant pterodactyl to come down and drop something right near the house that distracts Rollins. He gets out there and everything and it blows up in his face. Like, I don't know, goddamn, color out of space. No, I don't know what I'm on about anymore, but it makes as much sense as anything else that Edge is doing. More sense than him running out of an arena in Baltimore thinking he's going to get back there soon. Rollins was making himself at home. And arrest the cameraman, I said. Then Edge tells Beth, just go to your brothers. I don't care about the groceries and everything. I'm calling Daniel and David. He's going to have difficulty calling one of them har har. Because imagine if they would have been tag team champions in New Japan. Man, that would have been so goddamn cool and everything. Except, Chris kind of took care of that. Enough Benoit jokes. It's actually apparently the real life names of Dax and Cash, FTR, which is a nice little bit of subtlety. I prefer my stuff because it's funnier and dark, and I don't really give a shit anymore. This was silly. Now, they tried to do it as good as they could, but it was what it was. Liv is banging around. Stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking. Stop it, Kier. Get some help. But Liv was truly banging there, as in the sense her bangs were out of control. I used to have bangs like that, by the way, back in high school. Yeah, I had weird hair in high school. No, you're not going to see pictures. She's going to face off against Carmella. Carmella, by the way, then says, no, you're not going to hit me in the face. I'm going to put on a mask. I'm going to beat you up, and there's no match. That was the extent of what they did with the women tonight. Not that I want to see Carmella compete in the ring, because seriously, I loathe seeing Carmella compete in the ring. She's not any good. But Liv deserves better here. Why is this feud continuing? Why is this continuing? Liv won. She should have been able to just go on and, I don't know, do anything. Put Liv on Raw and have her compete, for what will be the Raw Women's Championship on there. Because this stuff with Carmella is just fucking death. So anyway, Pierce and Sonya are doing round 3. Corbin and Madcap Moss, which seriously sounds like, it's like TL Hopper, the Goon, and all that shit. SmackDown. Oh boy, hit Raw on SmackDown. Oh, besides Swerve, fuck off. Just fuck the motherfucking hell off. Fuck the hell off with this. Did Fox honestly look and say, hey, We saw that terrible match to open up the goddamn... Let's just throw this up in the goddamn air. They saw that terrible match to open up NXT, and I know they're rookies. That match, and they said, yeah, we want this person who looks like a goddamn cow on ice. It doesn't look like she can throw a dropkick or do anything athletic, at least not yet. We want this on our television program that we're paying over $200 million a year for. Yes, this is the kind of action that we want. Swerve is great. I'm so happy for Swerve's success. I give a damn about the guy that was on WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. I give a damn about the D-Lo of the group, Adonis, even though D-Lo had talent. I don't need to fucking see this. So guess what? My reviews for SmackDown are going to get a hell of a lot shorter because unless this group suddenly develops anything other than a really annoying set of personalities, Human Centipede together and Swerve, because Swerve is pretty much the only good part of that group, I'm just going to cut out most of that analysis because I've given up on caring about a group that reminds me that the West Texas Rednecks were right. That's all I have to say about that. If you're happy about Hit Row being there, that's cool. I think it's way too soon. You could have called him up after Mania. One, they're in the middle of this feud with Legoland Phantasm, which after 3 weeks, obviously Swerve's going to lose the North American Championship that he won in pretty grand fashion and hasn't defended. That's not Swerve's fault, but it's pretty fucking stupid. But seriously, you think it's a good idea to call up these people that aren't any good? They aren't any good. They aren't. They need a whole lot more seasoning. And I'm not talking thyme and oregano. I'm talking a whole bunch of seasoning in the goddamn ring. Working in front of a, worldwide audience like on Fox is not the way to go. People were destroying them as far as how that match went to open NXT. This is a bigger audience, and that is not a good idea. Not good. Now, that's my opinion. If other people feel otherwise, that's okay. So, Rhea and Nikki are on Raw. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. And then Keith Bearcat Lee is on Raw. Okay. I understand the name in the history. I still don't think it fits Keith Lee, but whatever. So, New Day, The Profits versus Rude, Ziggler, Gable, and Majin Buu. And it's half Fox mandate with the caucasity. And then New Day and Profits. Okay, they were having fun, and Gable is really good between the ropes, and New Day won. That's all I have to say about that match. Let's move on to the fourth round. Naomi's on SmackDown. Sonya didn't want to deal with that. Jeff Hardy's on SmackDown. Good, he can, maybe face Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship, win it, and then not do anything with it, because Jeff Hardy really can't do anything in the ring anymore. And then let's have Rey and Dominic on Raw. More like Raw Mysterio and Austin Theory. Roston Theory. And you thought that I wasn't going to overuse jokes on this review. And if you thought that, you were clearly just a new viewer. So, Jeff was in the back, and then he saw Brock. He's like, nope. And then he left. And Brock basically said, well, thanks to Paul Heyman, he made me a free agent and everything. Brock gets to do what Brock wants to do. And then Heyman's face just through all this because Roman is just reading him the riot act, just staring him down. And Heyman's crying and doing all this stuff. It's such good shit. Heyman's crying like he owes Roman money, like he owed everybody money in ECW. But that's okay. He wasn't the best businessman. Let's hear it for the Heyman man. So, Roman just berating him. He says, you're the wise man when I say you're the wise man. It's such good shit. This is good shit. Really, really good stuff. And he says to the Usos, he tells Heyman to go to Raw and make sure the Usos are drafted to SmackDown. Tells the Usos, if you aren't drafted to SmackDown, leave him for dead on Raw. He told his cousins to commit murder, and given the fact that Jimmy Uso loves to drive while intoxicated, well, that probably wouldn't be far off if he doesn't get some goddamn help. And hopefully he doesn't do that, but he just told his cousins to commit live murder on a program. Good job, Roman. Good job. You just implicated your cousins when one has already implicated himself in a whole bunch of other stuff. So anyway, it's boss time. Can we get rid of Michael Cole or just draft him to an active volcano? Preferably that one in Hawaii. Michael Cole's really fucking bad at wrestling commentary. He's really fucking bad in general. He's a fucking terrible commentator. Fucking terrible. I know he's got Vince screaming in his ears. He's still not any fucking good. He hasn't been any good for like 15 years. So, Becky Lynch is on commentary. Baltimore is lynch mob countries, except for certain areas that are just above a shade of black. Anyway, moving on from that, Lynch versus Bianca versus Sasha at Crown Jewel. Covered from head to toe, and they will probably trip and slip because somebody thinks that, they can stone women, but that women should be all covered up and everything. We appreciate our women. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, I believe you. Anyway, Bianca and Sasha, well, the match is good. Becky was gold on commentary, knocking Michael Cole. Wish she would have knocked him out. Piece of goddamn shit that he is. I don't like Michael Cole, in case you haven't been able to tell. Frog Splash for 2. And then the melee at the end, Becky holds Bianca's ponytail. Most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. Charlotte then attacks. Her and Becky stand off and face. They'll probably, face off on the 22nd of Smackdown for a unification match, and then the champion will just travel between the shows. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Hit Row's part of Smackdown, so let's just shred this again. Again, love Swerve. Swerve should have been drafted, not this fucking stupid-ass joke of a group. West Texas rednecks were right. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.